Washington ABC poll that talks about how the president's, I think it was at 61% of people believe that the president's not accomplished, quote, not very much. And the favorability for the speaker isn't all that great in that poll either. So what, the divided Congress, what can be done to help get some momentum and getting something done?
Well, I acknowledge the polls, but it's clear if you look at the record over the last 2 years, it's been in a remarkable Congress. We got a lot done. President Biden was able to get bipartisan bills done on infrastructure, on protecting our industries with the CHIPS and Science bill, helping our veterans with the PAC bill. And then we were able to advance in regards to COVID-19, in regards to climate issues. So it was a pretty good 2 years. But the American public are struggling. We're going through a tough economic time. We're recovering from a pandemic. We're still in a war in Ukraine. We still have challenges for affordability for basic life needs. So I think the president will acknowledge that and urge us, Democrats and Republicans, to work together to deal with affordable education, to expand our healthcare system with all the technologies that are available today so that everyone can have access to affordable care. You know, my guest tonight is Governor Moore, and Governor Moore believes leave no one behind. And I think you're going to hear that message come out of the president.
How did you choose Governor Moore as your guest?
I'm just so proud that he's our governor. I really want my colleagues to have a chance to meet him. And I think Maryland is poised in order to take advantage of a lot of the opportunities that were passed in the last Congress.
Debt ceiling. What are you or the Democrats willing to give up to solve the debt ceiling?
Well, we're not willing to give up the full faith and credit of the United States. I mean, this is a ridiculous conversation in that we've already spent the money. We've got to pay our bills. The Republicans say they want leverage to have an impact on our spending programs moving forward. They have that because we can't spend one dime after October 1 unless a bill passes the House of Representatives. They have the leverage and should be using it to negotiate the budget moving forward, but don't hold hostage our ability to pay for what we've already spent.
So moving forward, is there any compromise on things like defense spending, Social Security, Medicare?
We absolutely need to reach an agreement between the House, the Senate, and the President on the spending program for our nation, our budget. That includes all of our spending programs, it includes revenue programs, all that needs to be in the mix. And if there's give and take, it won't be what President Biden wants, it won't be what the Democrats want, it won't be what the Republicans want. That's how our system has to operate. We all have to give and take.
I want to talk about the FBI building. I'm assuming you're pushing pretty hard for Maryland?
Oh, absolutely. It's where it should be. I mean, we have the best site for the mission of the FBI. We have the best location. We have the best cost to the taxpayers. We're ready to go, and it's the right place for it to be.
Any meetings with GSA?
There will be meetings as required under the budget we passed. So we are planning to have meetings with GSA within the next month or two.
Okay. What are the difficult issues to forge bipartisan consensus on, do you think, coming up?
Well, there's, every issue is a challenge. We recognize that we have economic issues of fairness. Our tax code needs attention. I'm certain we're going to have some different views as to where those priorities should be placed. We saw the Republicans' priority with their 2017 tax bill, something I didn't support. They saw our priorities and what we did in the last Congress, something they didn't support. So now it's time for us to listen to each other. I hope we can find common grounds on a lot of these issues. We have to fix the tax code as it relates to business with the research and development credit for American families on the child credit. So the things we got to do that are priorities to both parties may not be the same priorities, but let's work together to get a bill done.
So are those the easy areas, you guys, that you think the consensus can be reached?
I don't think there's any easy area, but I hope we can get together on issues such as public safety. I hope we can get together on issues concerning our environment. I hope we can get together on issues concerning our budget. These are areas that we should be able to get together on. I hope that we can.
How about should Congress be getting involved in D.C. laws?
Well, my view is that D.C. should be a state, that we should give them statehood and the full benefits of being a state. So no, I think they should have local rule. I think the government that's closest to the people is the most responsive. So let the D.C. government be responsible to its constituents and let them make their own decisions.
Do you feel that there is consensus on both sides of the aisle on the balloon issue, floating balloon? Or no
Well,
longer
we're going to be getting briefings on it this week, and it'll be in a classified setting. I think when the whole story is told, we'll recognize that China has been doing these types of activities. We shouldn't be surprised by it. I think President Biden made the right decision. He took it down, but he waited when we could recover the balloon and get information from it. It was not, we don't have this info, I haven't had a classified briefing yet, but we don't believe they had great capacity to cause damage while they were over the United States, but it's our airspace, and they're doing things they shouldn't be doing. So I think the president handled the way it should. And I hope that during the classified briefing, we will develop our policies to make sure that we protect our national security.
What about the argument, should have gotten it over the Pacific?
Well, I think this is going to come out at briefings. I have to be careful of what I say, but the balloons in the air from China were not a surprise. And when it's over international waters, it's challenging. Remember, this really came in to us through Canada, not through international waters.
Anything you want to add, sir? Anything you want to hear tonight? Anything like that?
I just hope that we can find unity. To me, we can solve any problem in America if we have unity. So let's find that common area where we can work together and get things done. Elections are over. We still have 2 years before the next election. Let's get things done.